Today lecture, we're going to look at point-slope form of linear equations. Basically, what we're going to look at is writing on equations of the line with different given options. So in order to do that, the first thing we need to remember is slope formula. We remember y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And point-slope form. Point-slope form look like y minus y1 equal m times x minus x1 with given slope and x1, y1. So one point is given and slope is given, then we should be able to find the equations where we can replace it here. Okay, so whenever it say write on equations, this is the formula we're going to be able to use it to find the equations. So first example we have is write an equation of the line that passed through -2 and 4 with slope of -3, and they want answer to be in slope-intercept form. So remember your slope-intercept form is y equals to mx plus b, right? So they want you to be answer in slope-intercept form. Let's see what we need to do first. We know that as soon as I write an equation, I'm going to use these formulas. In order to use this formula, I need to have slope and a point. And this question did give 1 point and slope. So I just need to replace it into the formulas. So let's look. I have y minus my y1 is going to be 4 equals to my slope is -3, x minus x1 is -2. So that's become +2. And then I need to rewrite this into slope-intercept form. So I isolate y and simplify the other side. So first thing I will do is opening the parenthesis by distributing -3. -3 times 2 is -6. And then I will do adding 4 to isolate y. Then I get y equal -3x minus 2. And that will be the equations that will have slope of -3 and pass through this point in slope-intercept form, right? Now look at the second problem. It's a write on equations. So again, when it say write on equations, I know I'm going to use the point-slope form of the line passing through the points -2, 5, and 3 and 4. And they want you to answer in the slope-intercept form, but also in a standard form. We know that slope-intercept form is y equals to mx plus b. And standard form is ax plus by. Let's erase it. Equals c, right? The reason I use the capital A is because they want the first numbers to be positive, right? Okay, so then let's see. We know that we're going to use the slope-intercept form, point-slope form, which is y minus y1 equal m times x minus x1. And we understand we need to have 1 point and slope. But this problem, slope wasn't given, but instead they gave you 2 points. So because they didn't give you slope, the first thing we need to do, we need to find the slope first. And then I use one of these points as the 1 point. But I do need to have slope, so I need to find the slope first. So finding slope is going to be y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So if I'm going to use this as 0.1 and this as 0.2, my y2 is going to be -4. y1 will be -5. And then x2 is 3 minus x1 is -2, so it will be +2. That I get -1 over 5, which is -1/5 will be your slope. Now that means I have slope and 0.1. And I can just replace it here, right? So then I get y minus 5 equal -1/5, x minus -2. And I'm going to write it into slope-intercept form first. So distribute -1/5. I will get -1/5 x minus 2 over 5. When you multiply 2 with -1/5, you get 2 over 1 times -1 over 5. That will be negative. 2 times 1 is 2. 1 times 5 is 5, right? So that's the number we get. And then we need to subtract, we need to get rid of subtract 5, -5. So we're going to add 5. So in other words, you're going to do -2 over 5 plus 5. In order to do the additions of fraction, you have to have same denominator. So 5 become 25 over 5, right? Because 5 having 1 on denominator, you multiply numerator and denominator by 5. So it becomes 25 over 5. And when you subtract -2 from 25, you get 23 over 5. So you will have y equal -1 over 5x, then plus 23 over 5. So we will say this is going to be point-slope form. Slope-intercept form. But they also want you to answer with standard form. In order to use the standard form, it should not be any fractions. So what I need to do next, I need to multiply everything by 5. Then I will get 5y equal -x plus 23. Cancel out denominator, right? And then put x first. So if I move x to the left side, it will become positive x plus 5y equal positive 23. So this is going to be my standard form of the equations that pass these 2 points. Example 3, I wanted to explain how are we going to find the equations if the graph is given. So something like this one right here, the first one, the graph shows you x-intercept and y-intercept. In that case, we will know that your y-intercept is going to be 4. And your x-intercept is 1. So having these 2 points, you should be able to find the equations using number 2 example, right? You find slope first and then replace. Or in this particular problem, we should be able to find the slope by counting. So we know that slope is rise over run. So rise is going to be from here to this point will be go up 4 and move left 1. So it look like this slope is going to be rise over 1. Let me write that one down. So your slope is going to be go up 4, move left 1 from this point to that point. So this point start, go up 4, and then move left 1. That's how you get your slope. So basically your slope is equals to -4. And you have y-intercept, so you should be able to do y equal, your slope is -4, x, your y-intercept is +4, right? So that will be the equation. That's how easily you should be able to find your slope if y-intercept is given with the graph. But if that's not the case, like B, right? Let's say this is going to be B. If that's not the case, we only have 2 points given like this. No x-intercept, no y-intercept. Then what you need to do is you're repeating example 2, right? You need to use the slope formula to find the slope and replace with that 2 points. You only need 1 more point to plug into point slope form, right? So you need to use point slope form with 2 points. So you have 2 and 5 and 1 and -3. So 2 point is given. That's the same problem as example 2. So use example 2 to find the equation of that line if graph is given. Fourth example is writing an equation of the line. The line is parallel to 4x minus y equal -2, and passing through 2 and 3 will be the A problems. B problem is line is perpendicular to x minus 3y equals to 7 and passing through 4, 2. So before we do this example, we need to make sure what does parallel and perpendicular have in common when it comes to the slope. We know that when it's say finding a slope, finding equations, you have to have a slope and a point, right? We do have a point for both problems, but one thing is missing is slope. So how are we going to find the slope? When it's a parallel to the equations, it means that you're going to have a same slope. And when it's a perpendicular to equations, you're going to have negative reciprocal slope. So using that definition, let's try A first. So you have a point, 2 and 3, but you do need to find the slope. And the equation was given was 4x minus y equal -2. And parallel, right? Parallel means we'll have a same slope as this given equations. So let's see what slope I have from these equations. So let's solve for y. You need to move positive 4x to the other side, become -4x, and then multiply everything by -1. So then this is going to be your slope. So use that slope. Because it's the parallel same slope, you're going to use those slope as 4. And you have a point. So once you have that information, use it into the point slope form. So it will be y minus y1 equal slope times x minus x1. And let's see if we can write it into slope-intercept form. Slope-intercept form, solving for y. So let's get rid of parentheses first. 4 times negative 2 is 8. Negative 8. And we're going to add 3 to isolate y. Then you get y equal 4x negative 5. If you wanted to rewrite this into the standard form, so this is the solutions, equation that will be parallel to given equations and passing through 2 and 3. If I wanted to write this into the standard form, I need to move x to the other side, which is going to be negative 4x plus y equal negative 5. But then you need to multiply by negative throughout equation, so you make first number positive. So it'll be 4x minus y equal 5. So this is the standard form if you wanted to write your equation in standard form. So then let's look at b. What about b? What's the difference? Well, so point is given, and we need to find the slope, but what it's given is perpendicular to x minus 3y equals 7. So perpendicular to that 9. It means you're going to have negative reciprocal slope. So let's find the slope of equation first. So solve for y. Divide everything by negative 3. So you get negative, negative, positive. Positive, negative, negative. So this slope is positive 1/3. So perpendicular of that slope is going to be negative reciprocal. So positive become negative, 1/3 flip it. So it'll be 3/1, which is negative 3. So you're going to use negative 3 with 4, 2 points given, right? So let's put it into point slope form. Y minus 2 equal negative 3 times x minus 4. And open the parenthesis by distributing negative 3. Add 2 to isolate y. You get plus 14. And that's going to be the solution in slope-intercept form. Again, if you wanted to write it in a standard form, put x and y together on one side and constant other side. So this is going to be standard form.